My name is Kev and I'm a volunteer recovery coach at S2S. I'm also in recovery and have been for 2 years now. I'm going to share my journey with you. I feel this may give hope to others. I left school at 16 with no qualifications or plans for my future. I had never really given this much thought. For me, school was about socialising and what me and my mates were up to on Friday night. I believed at the time that I had a good strong group of 8 friends of different ages. We loved to play football and played in the local park most nights. A lot happened in the park and soon my mates started smoking hash. After seeing them smoke, they looked like they were having a great time and were always laughing. I was young and curious as well as wanted to be accepted from my peers, so I decided to give it a go. I liked to smoke hash and pretty soon it was our main activity. This soon escalated as we became more familiar with our surroundings and the people in them. I was experimenting and using different substances after a short amount of time, without much care. What I did not realise was that I was stepping down a dangerous path. I remember being 18 and there was some new interest in some substance called brown. Me and my mates were hearing about this from our older friends and it was not long before it was available to us. With my curious, innocent nature and the brown's mysterious appeal, I was soon smoking brown. I remember it tasting disgusting and a distinctive fishy smell. However, it was cheap. A £10 bag would get me and two of my mates high for the night. As well as this, it was also effective. The high we got from smoking brown could not have been achieved if we smoked hash all day. The months went on and I began to like the disgusting taste and always want brown. I had no prior knowledge or understanding about brown and there was definitely none provided. Had I knew that I was in fact smoking heroin, I suspect my attitude would have been different, but I did not know. After 10 or 12 months, I was waking up in a bad mood and feeling physically sick without heroin. I soon realised that waking up with heroin changed the bad mood and replaced the sick feeling with a sense of well-being. At about the same time all this was going on, I remember thinking, is this what a habit is? I continued on like this and life started to get chaotic. I lost my job, got kicked out of my parents' home and started to commit crime to fund my drug use. I started shoplifting, but this became more serious the more I slipped into this lifestyle, resulting in me being arrested and charged for intent to supply Class A drugs and knife point robbery. Sofa surfing, getting arrested and ending up in jail became normal. I had a brief visit to Huxlow House or S2S and thought about treatment. The truth was, I was not ready. I tried sorting myself out and making things right with my family, but in fact made things worse. Crack and benzos came on the scene and was soon part of my daily consumption of substances. I remember liking Valium especially as it gave me confidence and a sense of invisibility. This was helpful, I thought, to earn money. Using these additional substances exacerbated my situation further. I needed more money and took more risks to get it. At this point, I did not care for myself or anybody. I felt so miserable, desperate and vulnerable. I was hearing and seeing many users were dying or becoming seriously ill. My group of friends who I started using with had rapidly shrunk to 5, then 3, including me. These were friends that I had grew up with and had many positive experiences with. I had become disconnected and desensitized from life. During a rare moment of clarity, I remember thinking if I continue on this course, the writing is on the wall. I had two realistic choices at this point. One had a future and one did not. I opted for the first choice, but by no means was this easy. I contacted my probation officer and got myself recalled to prison as I was on licence still. I removed myself from the old situation took the pressure off and gave myself some breathing space. This gave me time to clear my head and focus. I detoxed from all substances, heroin, crack, benzos and methadone. I had a different mindset this time. If I put myself back in prison, then I'm not going back out in the same shit state as I came in here. I reflected on my life and started planning out my future. I finished my diploma in substance misuse and counselling and also continued with my Open University degree in psychology. I also volunteered with Inclusion, the prison substance misuse team, as a recovery champion. I liked helping others and felt better in myself for doing this. It was at this point that I contacted David Sagar, the volunteer coordinator for S2S. I told Dave about the volunteering I was doing with the Inclusion team. I explained how helping others in similar situations to me was good for my own recovery. The role I was in gave me purpose, focus, and scope for employment. It is a nice situation to now find myself in, helping myself and others and various organisations. I believe that I have an opportunity to use my knowledge and experiences from my old life to help others in a positive way. Through the last 6 months of my time in custody, I kept in touch with Dave at S2S. I updated him on the work I was doing and got this evidence to him by the Inclusion team. I applied for the role of volunteer recovery coach with S2S whilst in custody. I was interviewed and recruited. I am now in my role at S2S and love it. I have started off small, working 2 days a week to start with. This is to make sure that I could cope and manage, as there is a lot to get your head round whilst keeping on top of my own well-being. Knowing that I am working towards a career supporting people getting away from a drug culture is really rewarding. My days have now been stepped up and I'm now working 4 days a week. I've also just applied for a full-time position. In my role, I'm co-facilitating extended brief intervention groups, carrying out dry blood spot testing, working the needle exchange, calling service users and checking in with them. I also now have some clients that I work with regularly. My short-term goal is to get clients to care for themselves and longer term to get people into sustainable recovery. Taking my time, working hard and managing my expectations have all helped me on this journey. I now have hope and I'm working towards a brighter future. Thank you for listening.